It's wonderful to be here in this house, built by Sir William Wilde, Oscar's father, in the 1860s. It's indeed a beautiful house and extraordinarily well preserved, and it must have been a fabulous mansion altogether in its time, built for his family to come stay. Oscar would have stayed here, probably sat by this fire, played with his brother Willie and his little sister Isola in this very room. It's magical to be here. This hotel in Sir William's time was the scene of a number of very dramatic incidents. It wasn't a hotel at the time, of course, it was a private residence, but the famous Travis case had its origins here when the boys came to the door and with their pamphlets, and Lady Wilde told them to go away, and it was the final straw as far as she was concerned in this terrible saga of being plagued by Wilde Travis, and she fired off a letter to Wilde Travis's father giving out about her, and it ended up in the famous court case, which had all the ingredients and foreshadowed Oscar's famous trial a generation later, by the way. If Oscar had paid a little bit more attention to the events that had occurred here, he wouldn't have got himself into the mess that he did, because his own trial has a lot of the ingredients. There's a sex scandal and a hastily written letter and a libel suit, and all of the ingredients were foreshadowed in the Travis case, which had its origins in this very building. Well, thank you all for coming. I took on the lunatic project of writing about Oscar Wilde for one reason. I got extraordinarily interested in his father, Sir William. I read, as many of you have, the book Loch Horowitz, Shores and Islands. Yes, and I said, who was this person who wrote this fabulous book? It's still relevant today, because I live right near Loch Horowitz, and it turned out to be Sir William, Oscar's father. So I thought you have Sir William's house, which is now the famous Strand Hotel. You have Sir William himself. I'll talk to you about him. His wife. You have Willie, Oscar's waster of a brother. Don't tell him I said that. Oscar himself in his early years in his East End pose as resting. His wife, his son Cyril, shot, as you know, in the First World War, sniper's bullet. His son, and his son Merlin, and Vivian and Merlin. Robbie is the hero of the whole story. It's because of Robbie that Oscar is famous today again, and that he's out of bankruptcy and that we can buy his books and so on. Now, Robbie even organised the great Epstein. Oscar wasn't buried in Père Lachaise, as you know. He was buried out in Belleville, the kind of poor man's graveyard. 9 years later.